The India-US bilateral trade agreement is an important step in strengthening trade ties between the two countries. US President Donald Trump and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi agreed on an interim framework while continuing talks for a full agreement. Although the deal has been announced, it is yet to be formally signed. The agreement aims to give Indian exports better access to the large US market and reduce trade barriers between the two nations. One of the biggest highlights of the interim deal is tariff reduction. Reciprocal tariffs have been reduced from 25% to 18%. For many Indian export products, duties have been cut from 50% to 18%, and for some items, tariffs have been reduced to zero. Additional relief under structural and Section 232 provisions gives zero duty access to several $1 billion worth of exports. However, the issue of tariffs became complicated due to developments in the US. On February 21, 2026, US President Trump raised US import tariffs to 15% under Section 122 of the 1974 Trade Act, which allows temporary tariffs for 150 days without Congress approval. A day earlier, the US Supreme Court ruled that he had exceeded his powers under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, stating that the law is meant for national emergencies, not tariff actions. Because of this ruling, India-US trade talks were briefly rescheduled. Earlier, the US had imposed up to 50% tariffs on India, including a 25% penalty for buying Russian oil. After fresh negotiations, the US agreed to reduce the tariff to 18% and remove the additional 25% penalty. India has carefully protected its sensitive sectors. Core agricultural products such as wheat, rice, maize, oilseeds, poultry, and dairy remain fully protected with no new access for US exporters. Vegetables, fruits, spices, and tea are also safeguarded. This ensures that farmers, small businesses, and rural livelihoods are not harmed. However, India has offered tariff relief in non-sensitive sectors such as machinery, chemicals, automobiles, technology hardware, semiconductors, and data center equipment to support manufacturing and digital growth. In return, the US will apply a uniform 18% tariff on many Indian exports like textiles, leather, gems, jewelry, machinery, and pharmaceuticals. Some products such as silk, diamonds, aircraft parts, and certain agricultural goods will get zero additional duty. Alcohol duties in India are also expected to fall sharply, reducing prices for imported spirits. Overall, the deal supports trade growth, technology cooperation, and supply chain resilience. However, India must ensure that its strategic autonomy, especially in energy security, is not compromised while finalizing the agreement. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And before you leave, don't forget to answer this question in the comments below. Question: which sector remains fully protected with no market access for US exporters? A. Automobiles. B. Dairy. C. Alcohol. D. Semiconductors.